Welcome to the second episode of the Greatest Thing Ever
We are
podcast.
number 2.
Today is Sunday, the something of April. What is today, people? The calendars.
April 27th.
April 27th.
Started April 27th, 2014.
What's up, everyone? We're here bringing in another episode of this random shit we do.
It's pretty early.
It's early, yeah. We decided to get together early today. It's around 10:30-ish, I think, now.
And
Which is early as fuck.
And as always, Bobbert, Daredevil Mike, and
I'm Zach, as usual.
Sometimes
Uh,
not Zach.
that's the most lackluster
well,
your name ever.
I know, it's early. We got together early.
I've been up for hours. Oh.
Yeah, because you're fucking nuts.
That's because I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
I can't. I went to sleep last night, well after midnight, I'm sure. And then I
Nice.
woke up at 6. I'm like, oh, I'm awake. Time to clean the house.
Oh,
You're like
God.
Moon Knight. You just got all these various jobs.
I know. I am. I'm a Ghostbuster. I'm a purchasing person. I'm a clown. A puppeteer or a prop. Yeah, actually,
You
maybe
do a
I am
lot.
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
I need to start checking my clothes.
I'm still wondering,
I
Wait
might.
from,
Shine shoes.
I'm sure if we looked hard enough, we can find some meth in your house or some coke or something. I'm sure we do. Like, what keeps him up at night? The meth helps.
So what would you say Moon Knight Moonlight says? Like, what is what his
Night
job?
moonlights.
I don't know. He has so many jobs. I don't know because Moonlight usually it's just the second job, right?
He's fucking nuts.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
that's
subjective, dude. Because
Cabbie. I'm going with Cabbie.
Look.
Moonlights is a cabbie.
Being fucking crazy is
That's a job.
That's
in
a
and of itself.
job. Yeah. Dude, when you have that many like schizo, personalities,
Wait, does he get a crazy check on top of his cabbie check
Oh,
and
yeah,
shoe shine check? And
wouldn't that be great?
probably.
That'd be great if like also he's like, I got a check from the government.
government check? What up?
It's first of the month.
Everybody's eating Doritos.
So it's the first of the
Deadpool
month,
comes
man.
over, brings
Yeah.
some chimichangas.
Heck yeah! That's the comic I want to read.
So what's up, guys? How's the week?
Week has been the greatest week ever.
Oh God, already.
Gotta go to work tomorrow. That's not looking forward to that.
That's not great.
Yeah.
You really brought down the whole room thing.
You have, you've ruined it for everybody.
Appreciate that.
So thank you. Oh, but I've been moving.
Yeah.
Moving shit and all that kind of stuff.
Alright.
So I go through my storage room / bedroom where I sleep at night that has a bunch of shit in it.
Yeah.
I'm moving shit around, and I go, huh, that looks familiar. And I look down, and I pull, no kidding, a snakeskin, 4-foot log. So that motherfucker's in my house somewhere.
That is called an abandoned building at that point. I'm like, bah!
A little frightening.
Yeah.
I'm going. What
Well,
kind? Could you identify
It
it?
was just a little white.
Oh.
But I found it, and I was like,
Still.
you sit there and you go,
Did you have that much clutter in your room?
No.
There's like
actually,
snakes
it's not.
and animals.
No, I don't know. See, that's the thing. Like, that's what gets me. Is like, I have like just some boxes in
Yeah.
front of like this old desk I don't use anymore.
Yeah.
And so I was like moving the boxes, getting some. There was some paper that fell behind, so I moved the paper, and I kind of went, like, that looks weird. What is that? And I kind of moved the shit out of the way, and I looked. Oh fuck! And it was a snake. Like he had run under the leg of the desk because it had the long legs,
Yeah.
so he could pin himself and like pull the skin off. And I was like, oh, that's lovely. So yeah, there's a 4-foot, maybe 3.5 4 foot snake in my house.
Oh, that's frightening.
That's great.
Yeah, we'll
How'd
have
that
that
happen?
for another episode. It'll be
Yeah.
our
Yeah,
new
when you
mascot.
come back and be like, hey guys, here's my hand bandaged up for that motherfucker bit me, or I killed myself trying to get out of it.
Had a snake in our house one time. Not this one, like in
Yeah.
our previous house we were living at, and it was like I think it was actually a moccasin because we lived on a lake.
Oh hell no.
And like looked down the hallway and just like, hey, there's a black thing in the abandoned
like-
house.
So,
Well, clearly, what do you do? Because a white oak, of course, he's not vicious or anything.
So he'll
But he's
keep
not
down
aggressive. But like, I'm gonna be sitting there one day and I just picture like him going, whoop, sweeping, and I'm going, so
He'll keep down that voracious rat population you got going on.
probably.
Yeah.
Actually, they're not, I was wondering, like, I don't have mice anymore, so how to explain this?
just let him, cool it.
Well,
Yeah, you should go ahead and name him.
it's just, holy shit, that's what it stands for me. When I come
Every
home, I'm like,
time
holy
you see
shit!
him, yeah.
Oh, God.
Should name him Steve Dave.
Steve Dave.
You get him, Steve
You
Dave.
get Steve Dave.
You get those mice. Yeah.
So,
Oh.
after that ruckus story,
So,
It's
greatest thing ever is for the week.
Whoa, greatest thing ever.
And we've had some discussion because there's been a lot of shit going on this week. Like,
There has
I don't
been.
think anyone had their greatest thing ever until, like, recently.
Yeah, my greatest thing ever didn't come around until
So-
I think Thursday.
Yeah. Like, I found mine, when did I tell you? Like, yeah, I think Wednesday night.
Was
when
it-
I found
was it
mine.
Wednesday
'Cause
night?
I think I told y'all
Halfway through the
Thursday.
week with
So,
nothing
yeah.
great happening.
And then Mike, I don't know when you found his. He's had his for a while.
Yeah, he just hoards these gracing ever to
Yeah.
dole out.
That's all I got, man. Just
You're a sad man.
It is.
Yeah.
But, you know, when all you live off vodka, you know, your whole life, you know, vodka and potatoes. Pretty good.
Isn't that like double potatoes?
Hey, it's Russia.
We have potatoes and
we have potatoes. Russia, we have potatoes.
Irish people have potatoes.
Well, shouldn't I be scared of that now? We're offending so many people here because we got our stereotypes wrong.
I'd like to apologize.
No, hell no. Don't stand up. Like, yeah, the fucking Irish are the same way. They like potatoes too. Fuck you.
They don't like potatoes. They grow potatoes. Didn't they have that famine? We learned in school they had a potato famine.
I don't know, but
They ran out of potatoes. There's no chips or anything happening. Or
yeah, I guess that is true because you know we have the guy at work, Randy.
Oh.
He will ramble on about some potato famine.
Ramble on.
Well, he rambles about everything there. So, all right. Well,
okay. Yes.
Greatest thing ever. Let's get back on track.
Let's go first.
You want to go?
Sure, I can.
Go around, I guess.
What's your greatest thing ever? What have you found to entertain us today?
Okay, internet peoples. I read this great little, I found this great little nugget of truth the other day. Apparently,
it's a nugget, all right.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of truth.
And mind you, before I talk about this, I am in no way affiliated with the KKK. It sounds terrible.
We do not condone their practices.
Yeah, I don't condone their actions. For the most part,
but
I think they're
a good cross burning.
We will protect them.
A good cross burning though, you know, it's like a bonfire, you know, right?
I think they're just
I think it
racist
turns
bigots.
into a bonfire when it falls down.
Yeah, don't like him, but whatever. I found this particular incident to be pretty funny. But anyways, there is a township code, I believe it's Fairview in Pennsylvania, and apparently they've been having, as of late, a little crime problem. You know, as opposed to getting a vigilante of justice, you know, i.e. a Batman, they're gonna go with the
It's Pennsylvania.
yeah, the KKK.
It's
So
like
the the Fairview chapter of
Amish Batman.
of the Ku Klux Klan.
Copyright.
I'm gonna punch you in your face. You know? But yeah, the KKK, they're starting a neighborhood watch for this township, and you know, spared no expense. They even got their 24-hour Klan line, which you know that is the greatest thing ever to me this week. Is you know. Just let alone that the Klan line.
I got a question.
You called them like you know there's a colored fella outside. I don't feel safe.
Yeah, really.
Here's my question: the KKK's flyer isn't it in black and white?
Oh, nice. Actually, it is. I should have printed out the little flyer so I had a stereotypical Klansman guy going. We want to protect you.
Like, yeah, we want you. You know. Well, have y'all seen the recruitment flyers? Like I was telling y'all about it. Like there's a recruitment flyer, and it's like big, like all fancy, and it's like, oh, giddy, you know, it's like the KKK family time. You know, come join the KKK as we eat, drink, have music. No blacks, Jews, whites, girls. You know, all this like weird, like you're like, oh, what? Come on, dude. But it's like all happy, like bubbly font and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the. I really hope it was a joke.
So yeah, apparently, if you are in Fairview, Pennsylvania, don't fuck up, or the Klan will come to get you.
The Klan will come get you.
Just frankly, actually, no, do fuck up and then film it and send it to us because I want to see this.
No, I'm just kind of curious. Like, okay,
so
it's almost worth driving up there just to screw around with these assholes.
the thing is, like, I picture like
road trip, racing every road trip right there.
Like
You're harassing the Klan.
No, like Django Unchained.
Yeah.
Like where like they're all riding on horses.
We can't see nothing in these hoods.
Yeah, like I picture, like that's what I picture. Like you come, like, dude, I think I get somebody bringing to my house, and all of a sudden, like here comes all these people in like pickup truck, yeah, with like all their hoods on, and they're like, yeah, woo, yeah, you're like, woo. So, but
that's frightening. But pretty funny. So,
that's if I was like a neighbor, I looked out there, I was like, what's going on?
No, never mind.
Pack your bags.
That's
Pack your bags, Eunice. We're getting out of here.
That's a lot of ghosts out there in that yard. Oh, what's going on?
This is a scary, spooky town.
Yeah,
Get a proton pack.
Halloween come early this year. So, Robert,
all right,
greatest thing ever.
My greatest thing ever, and let it be known, I like Harry Potter. I don't love Harry Potter. I like Harry Potter. So I'm not a Harry Potter expert. So I could be getting certain
good hand motions
facts
Talk with his
wrong.
hands.
I do. If I had props here, I'd talk with
Jazz
props.
hands. Yeah.
These are not spirit fingers. These are spirit fingers. I just quit bringing it on.
Yes, you
the
did.
podcast. Anyway,
Congratulations.
anyway, so this comes from my fiance Tiffany. She says she made me realize that I think it's book 4. Like hold on, book 5. Harry's all emo and stuff, like emo Harry Potter in book 5. Well, apparently she points out at the end of book 4, like Cedric Diggory or whatever dies. Like Cedric Diggory
Diggory like he's Australian,
Yeah.
African.
Yeah, he dies. Like Voldemort trip, like kills him, and then like he sees his dead parents, and like he comes like nose to face with Lord Voldemort. It's like so Harry throughout all of book 5 is not emo. He's suffering from PTSD, and I'm like this makes complete sense. Like I would be a little messed up too.
Yeah.
It's like I just saw one of my best friends get ganked, and like Voldemort.
Well,
His little nose port.
Yeah. Actually, look like a reptile.
Yeah. Well, he's snaky.
Yeah, I just realized something.
Cool.
He does look like Reptile from Mortal Kombat. What, Annihilation?
Oh.
Is that where Mortal Kombat was?
So
But it's the little lizard. Like,
No, that was the first one.
was it the first one?
Yeah.
He looked like a little fucking lizard.
I've only seen Annihilation once.
That's not a good movie.
Yeah.
It's
that's
very cheap. Like we had to get into bad movies one time. That's a very good bad
They
movie.
cut off Johnny Cage, and I was like, it sucks.
That is my greatest hangout for the week though. That Harry Potter has PTSD in book 5. He's not emo. He's suffering from an actual condition that magic can't cure. Apparently,
he's gonna hit the bottle when he gets older.
I didn't know if Katie
like
watched
Mad-Eye
teaching
Moody.
it the entire time.
like Mad-Eye Moody, just like constantly drinking.
I've never seen the movies. I think I've read one book.
You actually should, man. They're pretty good.
I've seen all the movies because Tiffany makes me,
Okay.
and I've tried to read the first book twice.
Okay, let's put it this way.
Really bad
It goes back to when y'all were talking about Harry Potter the other day.
Yeah.
I bring up the same point. The best thing the Harry Potter franchise gave us was Emma Watson.
We got to disagree, man. I was always a fan of Luna Lovegood.
Well, you're wrong.
I like
but
the
that's okay.
pale weird chicks. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Hell, weird chicks are awesome.
we've discussed this too. We have a theory. I have a theory that I can't say that theory. We'll get in trouble if we say that theory. But yeah, I just thought about I was like,
I know exactly what you're about to say, actually.
But mine though.
Yes, yours. Let's move on.
It's a web series on YouTube. You can find it. It's real simple. Nightwing Prodigal Son. It's really fucking good. Everybody should check it out. I showed these guys the trailer, and there are things we can agree with, and there's things we can't agree with. But
it's not perfect, but it's amazing.
not perfect, but for what it is, it's pretty fucking good. Check it out. Like I said, it's on YouTube, Facebook.com. Nightwing Prodigal Son is their Facebook page. You can figure that out too. So yeah, give them a look. Give them a look. So that was pretty much my greatest thing ever of the week.
Woo!
So yeah, but I guess we could have considered, Robert's a conspiracy theory, which would tie in with our greatest thing ever for the week, or our topic for the week, I should say. Conspiracy theories, because you can literally go on and on and on about just different ones, and we just pick some we want to talk about.
Yeah.
This will probably be like volume 1, because I'm sure we'll do this again in like 20 episodes when we go, fuck, I don't know enough to talk about.
What do we do?
We're going to do conspiracy theories volume 2.
Go back to the well.
Yeah. But, so we're going to do conspiracy theories. Gotta let you know right now, I'm sure a lot of us don't believe some of these things. We just want to talk about them.
Yeah, these are just interesting things to talk about.
These are just interesting things to talk about. We could go into very, very deep conversation, because I'm sure there are some we believe. Like, I believe a lot of this shit, but just remember, these are not really our personal views on these things. It's just for good conversation. So
good reading.
Good reading, I guess we should say. Yeah, because we know a lot of this stuff, but we're not that we're prepared somewhat.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first on this bad boy topic?
But I say I can go first with my terrible first topic.
Go for it.
All right, my first topic is the Nazis and the occult. Like, I don't know a ton about it, but what I do know, it's pretty interesting.
It's
like,
really fucking deep.
Like the idea that Hitler was possessed by Satan.
Yeah, it gets out there a little
bit. Yeah, but like they say, because like every time he's almost died, like some just like random happenstance happens.
Yeah.
And like, oh, he's safe. Like, ooh, Satan.
Yeah, the whole Valkyrie thing.
Yeah. I haven't seen Valkyrie actually.
Yeah, but it's based on the real thing.
Yeah.
It's based on it's an actual thing that happened.
It's a foiled assassination.
Like one of his top generals went in with a suitcase bomb.
Oh yeah.
Dropped it beside him, and then went, "Hey, I gotta go somewhere." And then Hitler somehow survived the I think he moved or something.
I was reading that's part of what I was reading, and apparently he left the building like a minute before it went off.
Exactly.
Like, oh, gotta go do something, guys.
Yeah,
Bye.
and then boom. So yeah, I mean, so it's weird. But see, that whole theory though, I just cut you off. I know.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Like,
I don't care.
It goes back to it's supposedly the one I keep reading about is not Hitler was into it.
Yeah.
But his second, the guy below him, I forget what his name is.
The third most powerful person in the whole Third Reich was super into a cult.
That was his stuff.
Is that the one that went to Scotland?
Yeah, he defected, and then Hitler's like, no occult stuff.
Yeah.
Screw it. No secret societies. Table flip. Run around. Tiny hands.
Well, this was the same guy that he bought a castle.
Yeah.
And has the secret, perfectly acoustic basement dungeon where they do weird shit. They were talking about blood sacrifices were going on in this place.
They have underneath the North Tower. There's this circular pit sitting area for rituals, and he actually expanded on the castle. I saw parts from the expansion as just these weird creepy gargoyles.
What was it?
Yeah, and I think he ordered all ley lines within Germany to be mapped, and he even was gonna have I think it's 420-mile radius around the castle, dug out into a special pit. He put an entire town in a concentration camp as slave labor.
Well, this whole situation, wasn't he called it the demon that was going to make them win the war. The demon said, you need to do this, and you need to do this, and you need to do this, and this.
See, I think demon, I just think, from Tenacious D's Chris Song World Ever video, you say demon, I just think this guy in a suit with little horns going, this is what you do here. This is, there you go.
But it's great, though, because think about it. I mean, that's clearly, you have this little thing, you're like, oh, big demon, come up, also just, bloop, here's a little guy, he's just
the Indiana Jones films weren't that far off. The Nazis were out there doing crazy shit.
Actually, they say that Hitler got his rise to power happened because he obtained the Spear of Destiny.
Yeah,
how awesome is that?
Well,
it was terrible, obviously, but
there was
he got the Spear of Destiny.
Well, there's rumors that he got everything.
Yeah,
I mean, he found every major religious artifact.
Yeah, which blows my mind. Exactly he was saying, how close Indiana Jones was. Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's going after everything.
To me, there's got to be a little bit of truth to it because look at every movie that's ever been made. That when the Nazis are in it, for some reason there's this little bit of a cult. Hellboy. Good God, Hellboy was all into it.
Love that movie.
Which was a really good movie.
It was.
But that was all they were talking about. The Nazis. The Nazis.
Nazis.
I want my scaps.
Yeah. That was probably the only one that
actually, I was about to say there was no occultism in that.
But they
had enough violence to make up for it.
They killed Hitler though.
Buddy, did they?
Headshot. Get some.
I mean that's wasn't the supposedly the time traveling the bell.
Oh yeah, the time.
I love that one.
Which was that was part supposedly that's part of a cult thing that was going to take them.
Wasn't that aliens though? Because that's the problem with the Nazis. There's the supernatural and there's aliens.
Yeah, but
I want it to be both.
Have you not seen that? No, have you not seen that? There is that line where you do have the Nazi aliens, Nazi occult. There is a line that is their Nazi alien occult, and the Greys are actually
that's one of the greatest thing ever for the way of changing it.
Reptilians and the Grey aliens are demons.
Oh yeah,
and they're there to help. Yeah, they're there to help. No, they're part of. They're one of the same. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, that's UFO stuff. All that. Because it's. We can dig into this later, but reptilians made the Greys because
predators made aliens.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then so the Greys are here to watch over us because we, as humans, provide the reptilians with food. Because they eat us and they eat our souls and shit like that.
Oh, eat our soul.
It's some weird.
Soul your soul.
We can get. That is you can dig that hole and just keep on going down there, man. You can find all kinds of weird shit. But, that's a good fucking topic. We could do episodes on that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I didn't have much on it, but I just wanted to hit it because I find that to be a really interesting topic.
Just so much stuff the Vril Society.
It gets my Ghostbuster side going. It's Nazis and ghosts and shooting.
It's one of those situations where I guess that's the closest we've ever been to one power, like taking over the globe.
Like an evil power.
Yeah, like an evil power.
If you look at the Nazis, they pretty much are a Saturday morning
Yeah,
cartoon
I mean,
villain.
It's like Cobra,
Yeah,
but German.
German Cobra.
Great.
Give me my mirror mask.
Yeah. Which would be great, you know,
Terrible
little
German.
Sharpie Hitler on the man.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. I know my next con
I was
costume.
gonna say, I think we've just figured out a cosplay outfit
Heck
now.
yeah.
Yeah, drawing like pomaded
The
and
pomade,
like parted
yeah.
hair.
Yeah.
The little emo.
Well, like the Cobra symbol's gotta be
Oh,
real
yeah.
close to the swastika.
But it'd be great. We could do it.
I was about to say, I know people that can do it.
Yeah.
Drunk Nazi night. This might happen.
This way, yeah.
Cool.
So, but you know, talking about time travel, we're gonna go to mine next,
Ooh.
which is like time travel because they really don't know what they were used. I've heard 2 or 3 different things.
Yeah, me too.
The Philadelphia experiment, which is simply the USS Eldridge was fitted with just tons of like power equipment because they thought by Einstein's theory that they could either turn invisible or time travel or teleport. There's so many different things.
Teleporting technically kind of like time traveling?
Yeah,
Kind of, because you're moving from here to here in zero time.
But like it's supposedly it's a government cover because it worked. It went from Philadelphia to Norfolk, Virginia in a blink, and then come back. But
with minor complications,
slightly considering like if I've heard things from the sailors were sick to they died. To the greatest one I remember is the fact that it blinks, and then when they blink back, a guy is fused into the metal of the ship.
Not just the guy, like every crew member that was left on board, just like fused in like part of the ship. Now it's
it's like the big one, like the one they read was like there was like most of them were sick, or yes, there was a bunch of them fucked up, but like the one dude, they were like he's like half in, like from like diagonal like into this metal ship, and he's dying, and but it worked.
Heavy metal poisoning.
They said it worked, and that's what they said. It's covered up because it worked.
Yeah.
But also because
it's
got some folks got fucked up.
Isn't there one version where like the ship came back but none of the crew did or something though?
They said it's like I said. There's so many different versions.
Lingoos, man.
Yeah, like it's straight up like they said it went like straight ghost ship, like just. You know, just gone.
Awesome. Yeah, because they said that was a bunch of power equipment. Like, didn't they like wrap the entire ship in? Like,
it was in a copper. They were in copper coiled all the way around.
Imagine how much it cost.
It was government money. They didn't.
That's true.
And they hit the power.
Some copper.
Well, I mean, it was like they used this for like Einstein's one of Einstein's theories. Like they were like, we're gonna prove it, and like did it all, and like it worked. They just didn't.
Science.
They just didn't realize like, hey, you know, we can move a metallic, you know, object, but people on board, organic.
Maybe if the people were like in a pod, like in The Fly, and like that, and it moved them that way with like no clothing, nothing to fuse, you know. Maybe. My thing is, why didn't someone just go, okay, we're gonna hit this button real quick on a timer, then we're gonna jump off the ship and see what happens. Instead of going, hey, I think we all need to have our places, you know. Well, did they have like no way to know where the ship was gonna pop up at though?
Well, but still, I mean,
ballsy cruiser.
My thing though is if
that's true,
but don't like if it disappears though.
Yeah.
Don't you think like that's something in itself? Like
if
you're going for invisibility, boom, it's invisible, and then you go, doom, doom. There's a ship there.
Yeah. Otherwise,
perfect.
It's just hey, there's no.
Or if it goes, or if like big flash and nothing's there, and you go, okay, we did something.
We don't know what.
We just don't know what. So I mean, clearly you get the effect you're after, and you just hope you can find it. So.
Hello, has anyone seen our boat?
Well, can you answer those phone calls from like like hey
like middle of Oregon, the boat appears like.
It kills, lands on top of a grade school or something.
Oh, that'd be terrible. Like, your boat's here.
We ended up with the USS Eldridge just on top of our building somehow.
It's killed 87 preschoolers, 2 teachers, and a dog.
But see, the problem is no one would care until PETA got a hold of the dog. Like, pitchforks.
Poor Fluffy.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and go with yours? You want to flip it back and we'll come back to yours or what?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I don't know. You said you had one, so.
Yeah. The one I'm going to do today is on H.A.R.P, which I'm sure everybody's heard of. But it stands for...
Yeah, H.A.R.P. It's a thing you play.
Yeah. Well, this is the High Frequency Active Oil Research Program. And what that is, basically, it's a legit program.
It's legit. It's an actual thing.
Their basic
is it legit?
Premise...
Like Project Blue Book is legit, or was legit?
Yeah, like they're...
No, this actually works.
Yeah,
they use it for...
The basic premise is known, however, they don't really go into too much detail publicly about what exactly it is they do.
No.
But
Yeah.
basically, they're funded by the United States Air Force, the Navy, DARPA, which stands for Defense Advanced Research Project, I think,
Yeah,
agency,
that's what it is. Agency.
and then University of Alaska. And yeah, there's all these conspiracies that are floating around up there. What exactly is that HAARP does? And it ranges from anything where they can manipulate the weather
Yep.
on a worldwide scale to even
Exactly.
controlling the human mind through different sounds, things like that.
So,
And there's this phenomenon that's going around for a few years that I find really interesting, especially in remote locations. The sky noises, I'm sure you've heard of this. They range from anywhere to like this loud, like booming, to like a rumbling. Yeah, to like a hum, and no one knows what it is, where it comes from. It's just, yeah.
I think HAARP is.
A lot of it tends to be up in the northern hemispheres, like anywhere from like Norway, Russia, Alaska, to anywhere to even somewhere like in Tennessee. I think they had some.
There's a lot. There's a lot in America, but they think. But what the things I read about HAARP was the fact that yes, supposedly it's what's caused Katrina. It's what caused the tsunami in Asia. Yeah. Because this is supposedly the first, it's the first time they said it's so we can make man-made disasters. We can make man-made natural disasters.
It's easier to control a populace with fear.
Yeah. And so they said, but now the other trick to that is, have you heard the conspiracy I love is that yes, it does all this, but a side effect is the northern lights. Because of all the radiation or
Aurora
something.
Borealis.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty sure it's been there.
Yeah,
but
longer.
Hey, I don't know.
It's been there a little while.
Look,
I wasn't there.
You get in conspiracy theories and you dig these holes where people common sense goes out the window.
Yeah.
It's
common sense.
That's what. Yeah, you just what, but HAARP is an actual real thing. It's a. I think isn't it classified like it's a weather station?
I was about to say he was bringing up HAARP. I thought he was going to talk about the brown note or something.
Yeah. Which actually
great.
Make you poop your pants. Poop your pants.
When you read into some of the shit that the government did, they did those sounds where they could really fuck you up.
Oh yeah, I know that.
We were making fun of it the other day about the brown note. But let's be honest.
Gay bomb.
The gay bomb was a real thing. So something tells me the minute you go dude, you do realize all these generals are sitting around the table and they're like, what do you not like the most? Well, we don't like the gays. Well, besides that, let's get beside that. If you shit yourself.
I don't like doing that. Pooping my pants up.
Here we go, guys. Let's get on this.
Does it mean find a way to make people poop themselves?
Yeah, and clearly.
Yeah.
Weaponized poop. Go.
Yeah.
Monkeys do it.
Yeah.
That goes into AIDS. That's how AIDS is invented.
That's right.
The gay bomb with monkey poop?
Oh, we got it.
I'm so confused.
Oh, just stay tuned, Angry Man, for that. Oh, God, I can't wait.
Oh,
I forgot all about Angry Man.
Oh, we have not thought about Angry Man.
You viewers have something.
We're bringing it back in a terrible, terrible way.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a good show. Yeah, we have a lot of these ideas. Y'all saw the teaser for Sprinkles. We have more we're currently working on. One of them shows are going to be put up really quickly. Soon-ish. Just stay tuned, I promise. You want me to wrap it? You hit one. You want to go ahead and do yours, or
I can do mine.
Or I can go to Olivia's.
I'll do mine next. Okay. My next one is technically a conspiracy theory, but it's also debunking conspiracy theory at the same time. But once you go, no, this is what happened. Yeah, it's a back and forth. So anyway, it is the magic bullet. For those of you who don't know, the idea that one bullet did all the damage in the Kennedy assassination to both Kennedy and the guy, governor of Texas or whatever, that was sitting in front of him. One bullet goes through Kennedy, through him, and lodges in his thigh and kills them both. Well, a lot of people say there was 2 shots, 2 bullets, and second shooters and all this. Well, one dude actually did took all where they were sitting in the car, took all the bullet wounds, lined them up, found a trajectory for all of them, and it turns out 1, they're in a straight line. No. 2, they're coming from the place where they said Lee Harvey Oswald was sitting. Yeah. So not the grassy knoll or anything. Yeah. But says it was that coming from that window, and then on top of that, somebody went through the trouble of recreating the scene. They got a convertible. I think they got the same model convertible. Right. Set up ballistics dummies. They had a guy on scaffolding at the same spot. Windage was the same. He lines up, takes a shot. Takes a shot. It goes through the first dummy, into the second dummy, and instead of lodging into the thigh of the second dummy, it hits the thigh, grazes it, so it causes would cause an abrasion, and then bounces off.
Was it a 22?
It was the exact same gun.
It
It was the exact same gun and bullet.
It was
Type of bullet that was used.
It was the sniper. It was
So-
the one that everybody used. It was a like a 3.
They
22 will bounce.
You know, it wasn't that
but
big.
this was a straight line that
Okay.
straight through, and it caused other than lodging into the thigh, it caused the exact same damage. So it's not impossible to believe that another bullet just would go in.
Perfect
like,
shot.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a lucky shot. It was a perfect shot. But like the second shot that people hear would have been just Lee Harvey
Okay.
like racking another shot and firing and just missing.
Well, okay, we're gonna
stupid.
we're gonna discuss this one because we can get into the JFK thing. Did they discuss why his head went the other way then too?
No, I have not.
Yes, one shot does it, but if he goes with just as much force backwards too, and he loses the back of his head, you shot a gun. When you shoot a gun, the impact is out the front if it's in the back. So if you get shot in the back, like they first said, his face was still there. He didn't lose anything in the face. He lost it when he went backwards and it blew up his brains up the back of his head.
See, that part,
See,
the single bullet doesn't cover, and I know that is a problem.
Well, there's a lot of the JFK assassination is a very deep,
it's so,
deep thing.
Yeah,
we could go to JFK assassination and talk about this forever.
That was my thing. I was just going with the single bullet
Right.
thing, not with all the others. Because there's not just it's not just a conspiracy. It's mountains of conspiracy theories all piled into one interlocking
and it all
conspiracy
you
web.
get on one and you move to the other and all that. But I thought the magic bullet theory was the fact that the magic bullet theory is not that one shot killed him. The magic bullet theory is a special type of bullet because they could not find the ballistics.
No, they found the bullet and it's deformed, but it wasn't as deformed as badly as they thought it would be to go through everything it went through.
Mm-hmm.
But no, apparently it's a magic bullet because it goes, if I remember right, it goes through Kennedy's head, through his face, hits the other guy, goes through his back, through his chest, breaks ribs, goes through there, lodges it, and then goes into his thigh. I think, and gets in there. Also his arm was in the way, so it goes through his arm, boom, into his leg. So it's just the fact that everything was lined up.
I'm going to tell you right now, a 22 is not going to do that shit.
No.
Because I know if it hits a target, it can't bounce
around.
around.
22 is
totally
22 is your perfect self-defense pistol because you shoot them. And it doesn't leave the body; it just bounces all over.
Yeah. Plus, also, if you miss them, it doesn't go. It's it's going to
go somewhere else. But really, with the JFK thing, I was asking you about it. The big thing is the babushka lady.
Yeah.
The babushka lady is a crazy theory, where it's this one witness who's never been found. She has it on. I was wrong. It's not on camera.
Yeah.
It's on video.
Oh, the babushka lady is on video.
She has a video camera.
Oh.
And it's a weird situation where she's. If you don't know what a babushka is, a jacket essentially. It's a big, thick, the hood and the whole 9 yards. There's essentially a woman who is literally something like 12 feet away from the president or something on video getting all this. It's a great view. They said if they could find this video, they could prove what happened.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird because she's wearing a babushka, and it's something like 80 or 90 degrees outside
summer in Texas.
Texas. So they're like, well,
Texas is hot.
Well, clearly she's not
it's hot.
Clearly she's not it's not a witness. It's just maybe it's a government person that's videotaping it to make sure he's dead. And then I've heard she shot the bullet.
Like the camera was a gun or something.
Could have been
that.
Soviet too.
Yeah, is that too? And then you
because they always wear bushkas everywhere.
Well, the thing was,
that's not gonna stand out at all.
That's how you know for offending every other stereotype.
Oh yeah, might as well. Well, look, I can offend somebody right now. Did you hear the other theory is the fact that Jackie Kennedy, was the one that killed Kennedy because she was in with the communists. Because she's the one that when she
I haven't heard that one yet.
I have not heard that one.
She's sitting beside him. I've heard her and I've heard the Secret Service agent in front of him.
Yeah.
With her, what she did was the first shot.
Yeah.
Yes, it was something not planned. But as she went to turn to check on him, she pulled the gun that she had under her, and that's the back to the left hit shot. And then that's why when you see her crawling over to get away, supposedly they said you see her dump a gun.
Huh.
I don't know. I'm just saying what I've read.
That's a bit much.
And then the Secret Service one was the same thing. The guy that turns around that's riding on board.
Yeah.
is not he doesn't mean to shoot Kennedy,
but
but it's kind of like
accidental Kennedy.
it's
like
kinda,
the new
it's kind of like it's kind of like they said it's kind of like gunshot. Oh crap! Gun comes up
like Richard.
boom, and blows his brains
the
out.
accidental Kennedy.
And see, that's the thing. There's so many conspiracies. Like you just dig deeper and deeper into Kennedy. Like
Yeah.
but yeah,
I'm kind of bad about. I don't know. I feel like I'm. I don't know.
what?
I just felt kind of bad about the whole laughing. I mean,
No,
Kennedy
no, I
he
mean,
was a great man. It was a terrible thing that
It's
happened.
clearly-
sad when anyone gets killed. But like,
Yeah.
we're
Well, yeah, but clearly, but they, that's that one situation where like, I think you laugh at the fact that it's so fucking ridiculous.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
this is
yeah.
like this shouldn't happen in real life.
Oh yeah.
This is like bad movie like
Oh,
happenings.
it is.
Especially when you like who killed Kennedy? Oh, the vice president did because he was going to not go into the war. And, you start like dictatorship.
Well, I was gonna
It's
say,
weird.
Pulp Fiction. Who's that kid in the back seat that accidentally gets?
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh, Marvin. Oh, shot Marvin in the face.
That's it, yeah.
see, I mean, it's like that. It's like accidental stuff. You don't want to realize
Yeah.
that. How Kennedy died? Secret Service guy shot him in the face.
By accident.
By
Just
accident,
turned around.
just turned.
blew
Like
brain
because that's the thing. Like all of a sudden comes out like Kennedy would have lived except for that fucking Secret Service guy that like accidentally like trigger happy.
Good job, Ron. Gosh, you ruined it for the rest of us.
Yeah, then you're like, well, I guess that was easy. I mean, but
Uh,
the government has always hit some things.
Oh, we can go into a whole
Oh,
episode of that.
yeah.
And the greatest
There's-
and that
yeah.
kind of goes on with mine because my next one is I've heard conspiracy, I've heard urban legend. There's some documented cases of these things actually existing. I'm not talking about Polybius.
Polybius.
I'm
Which
not even sure if I actually
isn't-
know that.
Alright.
Tell us about
Polybius-
this as if we were uneducated.
Polybius
I am.
it was an arcade machine that was introduced in the heyday of the arcade.
2003?
No, a little bit later,
A little bit later?
a little bit earlier.
Oh, earlier.
Okay. We're talking like I've heard 60s, 70s, 80s, depending on.
Let's say 70s. Get that
Let's say
medium.
it's when this thing was introduced. They pretty much it's the equivalent of Tempest. If you remember Tempest, it's a little where things come. It's a Starship game. It's a shooter game.
Like Galaga?
No. You run around the little
Space
grid.
Invaders.
You run around the grid, and little things are coming up at you off the. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Okay. Anyway,
That's not what I played.
it's an arcade style space game out there.
Okay.
That way.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. These machines, when they first got introduced, became really popular for some reason. Like they said, lines would form behind like 20 deep for people waiting to play this game. Kind of weird because it would make you sick. You'd get nausea. You'd become addicted to things. People would just go do weird shit.
Like WoW?
Yeah, it's like you get like nightmares and night terrors from this thing. Like it was almost
I'm
like
looking at my troll hunter.
you had to be doing this, playing this game. Well, then you start digging into it, and supposedly, like, these games were wheeled in and taken into the back corner somewhere, dropped off by somebody that wasn't your typical, like Funtime Games or whatever, who did games.
Yeah.
And, it was just dropped in, plugged in, and that was it. Well, the same guy would come back later, plug something into the back of the computer, write down a few notes, and leave. He was collecting data from this machine.
Yeah.
Don't know why. A la, what's it, The Last Starfighter?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
Something similar to that.
nice. Good drop.
Supposedly, this was MK Ultra, which MK Ultra is the government. When we first got into psychics and all that, MK Ultra was the main group that was trying to determine what we could do with.
Oh, yeah. They had some crazy stuff going on with that.
They made this so they wanted to see if they could control people's minds over a screen. It could get you. There was mind control.
Yeah.
Just to see what would happen. And like, it was crazy. Like they said, like they changed people. They sat there and they had one guy that they said he played it. The guy, the witness, I say in quotes because you don't never know, but supposedly played it for an hour, religiously for a week.
Mhm.
On like they said on like a Friday, they said also he just stopped middle game, turned around, and says, "I don't like gaming anymore," and he became a gaming activist that says video games are bad. Supposedly that was because he got brainwashed.
By the video game?
by MK Ultra
Yeah.
to see what they could do.
Weird.
Like they did all
So
this.
7 hours of gameplay and he was
Oh, they said.
changed.
What a
They
noob,
said-
7 hours, nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
7 hours just getting started.
Yeah.
Ah!
Well, they were talking about like this little, you picture, these little kids are just pumping like
Oh yeah.
coins into this arcade machine, and they said there's like
That's how the government needs to make their money.
Yeah.
Arcades.
it was just weird, man. Like this is back in the day where like nobody had a home console,
Yeah.
so this is strictly like arcade. So you got to think, basically people were lining up just to play this game,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, just like that, disappeared. They said they were in arcades for about 3 months, supposedly,
3 months is all.
and it was gone.
Wow.
They said it was in. They said then like they're like we go back to witnesses because you can't never
You
tell.
said the
what's
game is called Polybius?
Polybius. You
Wow.
can find we can find ROMs online. You can
Yeah.
play it online.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
It's a
Have you played it?
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's not bad. It's a typical arcade game.
I was about to say, I'm guessing this is without
No,
the mind control
yeah.
added in.
Supposedly the mind
Um,
control come from the actual workings of the machine
Ah.
itself. But like it just
Here's-
weird, man.
Are the ROMs like a legit ROM or is it something fan made later
You can
on?
never tell.
Okay.
I've heard, because when you do research on stuff like this,
Yeah.
I've heard they're real.
Yeah.
I've heard they're fakes. I've heard they're great copies.
Yeah.
You never know. It's this weird situation. Like
Okay.
supposedly, you can look online and you can find a guy that's like, I found the machine,
Hmm.
and it like clearly it
So-
looks like an old
so
fucking
the-
arcade machine with and he says it still works.
There are surviving pictures and stuff of
Yeah.
the original cabinets online?
Supposedly, like I said, it's
But are there any
That's all.
pictures of the cabinets in arcades from
No.
back in the day?
no because they
Like
said
circa 70?
no because they said in 3 months,
Yeah.
it was just kind of like in and out.
So like nobody.
So
Nobody
nobody
picked in
took
on it.
Nobody
Well,
took a photo
well,
during Tay-Day?
No, because
Well,
think about it.
that-
I mean,
well,
you got to
that
think.
camera
We don't have the camera phones.
Well, I mean,
We have
they had cameras.
Yeah,
back
but they're expensive. What?
Yeah.
Are you gonna give a kid like your camera to go like to the arcade? I mean,
then. Did they have Polaroids then, or did they come out in
No.
the 80s?
No, they didn't have
That's
Polaroids. So that would they would have had to been like focus.
Yeah, it's like a
okay.
big camera,
Let me
yeah.
go pay and get this back in a week.
so I mean that's what I mean. So
That makes sense.
you got to take this one with a grain of salt because, like I said,
Big
everything
brain.
is yes, it makes sense like it could,
Yeah.
but then the other ones are like, man, evidence.
I mean,
but-
they use that nowadays with the subliminal messaging, things like that, and that's like a very simple.
yeah. Oh, well, that's some little messages are out there. Period.
I was about to say
That's
that-
all over the place.
Yeah, it started at a drive-in movie
Yeah.
theater.
Those are
Little messages.
Yeah. Come up
Selling
with was
some popcorn.
what was it? It was like popcorn. It was like
Ever saw him just popcorn?
Yeah.
Popcorn. And he said it sells some popcorn went up.
it's brilliant.
It's great.
Well, have you heard the now? There's another one like there's another dealing with this when I was looking at this. There's another conspiracy. We'll just take a sidetrack real fast, and it's the equivalent of like how that got started.
Hmm.
And there was a company that when they first found out like subliminal messaging and all would work,
Yeah.
and like along with like this MK Ultra Polybius machine,
Yeah.
they made TVs that would do it.
Nice.
Like the TVs would emit like an electric, like some kind of like a pulse in your
Yeah.
room, kind of like I guess you can buy them still. They actually like they say a little jolt of electricity, like a little burst, will like do you some good.
I could really go for some Jiffy Pop.
Yeah, exactly.
Get up and go.
But and that's what they said. They said
No.
they were too good. They were too good. They said people like they would like you,
It's too good.
like the manufacturers of
Too much
these.
time hacking.
Oh, dude, they supposedly like whoever bought commercial time would, and it would come on during your commercial, and it would just send out this little shock, and it would like trigger it.
Ah.
It would make it. Supposedly, it made men go buy pantyhose. It made people buy cases of dog food when they had no animals.
Nice.
It made
Wow.
men and like they would just buy like it worked too good. Instead of buying like they were like, oh, just go buy a can. No, they bought like cases of stuff.
Wow.
Like and had no use for it, and would just like they said you could go in some of these people's houses and they would have
like hoarders. That's
Yeah.
how.
Like this guy back here.
Yeah.
Yeah. What up, man?
So, but yes, I mean, but that's totally that's weird. Like that, supposedly that goes back to like when like your cadence when you talk, like when you TV shows,
Yeah.
like when you hear somebody when like one word is louder than the rest.
Yeah.
That's supposedly a subliminal messages like bye. It's usually like go buy now, stuff like that.
Yeah, the commercials do that on local stations.
Yeah,
They're like, they'll scream at you, and then
but it makes sense when you start looking like subliminal messages.
Yeah.
Like what's easier is like to try to flash on a little word every once in a while to actually like raise your voice for a moment,
Yeah.
like to
keywords.
Yeah,
Keywords.
yeah, exactly.
Is that why in comic books some of the words are bolded just at
Yes.
random?
I've heard some weird shit about that. No, we won't talk about that. I've
Okay.
heard like,
I blame Frank Miller for that though. He does that a lot.
dude, I've heard like the whole situation, like the Bible code and all that, where like every bolded letter you can take and like sort them out, and it all reads.
And I've heard that you can make anything you want out of
You
that.
can.
Though.
Yeah, I was about to say I've seen a dude use Moby Dick and do the
Yeah,
same thing with
do
the
the
Bible
same thing.
code with Moby
Yeah.
Dick, and he's like, I predicted stuff with Moby
It
Dick.
is, yep, exactly.
Herman Melville, right here we
Yeah.
go. He's a prophet.
So
Call me Ishmael.
that's right.
Nice.
So you got any other ones you want to talk about? Or,
Yeah, I can mention one that I just recently
we
thought
can,
about.
we can just we can ramble on these things for a while.
Rambling man.
I'm going to talk a little about OSI. And not the band, which they are a
Yeah.
good band if you heard of them, but they were called,
It's a
or
stretch.
it doesn't exist anymore, at least officially. They're Office of Strategic Influence.
Yep.
They were a little government branch, and not much was known about them. They never really came out as to say what they were doing, other than strategic influence.
No.
And they had a actual headquarters. I don't remember where it was located. I want to say either D.C. or Boston, or somewhere in the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
And it, very plain Jane looking, just unassuming location. And they had a website up too. And the weird thing about what I remember on the website is there wasn't anything to it. It was just like a blank page.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like what? I mean, the web space exists, but
Yeah.
there's obviously you either had to go to the undernet to access it, or whatever.
The undernet.
We can always.
I was
get
about to
into-
say
get
that's
into
another
that.
conspiracy
Ooh.
right there.
Well, undernet
Deep
exists.
web.
Yeah, you can get into it.
Deep,
The deep
it's-
web is crazy.
I'm not going to
Contract
the deep web.
killings, drugs.
Silk Road is great.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't.
The Silk Road is amazing.
I don't want to go because I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe it's either 2001 or 2. The website suddenly shut down, and their home office packed up, left, and nothing else is heard from them.
I heard it get merged.
Yeah.
I heard it got picked up by
The Department of Gaming.
like
there's-
the FBI or the CIA like grabbed it and went.
Well, there had been a lot of conspiracies at the time when OSI was still operating, at least officially. That a lot of people had said that it was actually MIBs, Men in Black. That
No.
was their department that they were in, because a lot of times you would see the stereotypical black Cadillacs.
Yeah.
Odd, well-dressed men in black suits that looked a little too perfect.
Yeah.
You're just in and out of this place just
Yeah.
a lot, and no one would ever talk about it. And,
No.
Love the Men in Black conspiracies.
Oh, Men in Black, man. We could go.
Oh yeah,
So-
that's another good one that we.
When you,
couldn't
I
talk
mean,
about.
they've got pictures online. I've seen
Yeah.
some of just weird stuff, like
Yeah.
that one. What was it, the security cam photo of two of them walking
Yeah.
into like a bank?
Yeah.
Just the weirdest thing ever, man.
Well, that's the thing is, what's weird about the Men in Black is it's that whole situation where I think I've read so much about them. Like, it's hard to believe what they actually are anymore. Like, I've heard like government conspiracy, like where they're like government guys, but they're like,
government
but they're
deep.
deep. But I've also heard where they're like, that's our version of like clones.
Yeah.
That they're clone soldiers.
They're working in tandem.
And
with
they're
the
working,
alien
yeah.
agenda.
And then I've heard they're aliens.
Yeah, they're aliens. That's why they wear the black sunglasses.
Yeah.
They have like red.
Or hybrids.
Yeah, they're hybrids. Yeah, but no, God, we could get.
There's so
I
much.
know some shit about some.
And then there's the comics and the movies we could talk
Oh,
about too.
God,
I mean,
yes. I mean,
so much
so much
Men in
stuff
Black
on Men in
goodness.
But it's not bad though.
Oh yeah,
It's-
that's what we do.
Like I'm. There's so many. Like, you just keep talking, and we can just
Yeah.
ramble
Oh,
on
yeah.
and pull up more and more. and
We're
more.
good at rambling, obviously.
Yes.
Yes,
We
we're
should-
working on getting
You
better.
guys been watching us so far. We just did another
We
ramble
should just.
on.
Yeah.
We should just like have changed the name of the podcast, just like the Rambling Cast.
the Rambling Man.
Yeah. So.
Then we'd have to have my buddy Kyle on here though.
Okay,
Rambling
ramble
Man.
too.
No, he's a rambling man. It's an inside joke.
If he has it for his ringtone, I will kick him in his forehead.
No, apparently like a couple years ago at a Christmas party, like everybody's playing Rock Band and Ramblin' Man comes on and Kyle
Jumps
tries to sing Ramblin' Man.
up.
Love you, Kyle. His Rambling Man rendition, like I didn't get to see it for like another year or two,
Yeah,
and then I saw him do it, and it was
it's great.
greatest thing ever. Greatest thing ever. Love you, Kyle.
Yeah.
So they call him the Rambling Man.
Nice.
He's a cool like nutty little dude.
Yeah.
I like him.
You want to go ahead and pull up your crazy
Yeah.
space one, or you want me to do my crazy space
I'm
one?
gonna do my crazy space one because this is awesome. This one I will have to refer to my notes a little because I want to get names correct, and I'm terrible with names. But this is right up my alley. I build props for a living along with working with these two schmucks. So, This is about the idea that the dead alien bodies that were seen back in the day in Air Force bases in the Southwest were actually not alien bodies. They were dummies made by this guy who's a special effects artist, and they were made specifically for the government to test American loyalty and to throw off communists. Dig this. The idea was that these alien bodies, these dummies were made. Let me see what the guy's name is real fast. Oh, come on, where's his name?
We'll call him John Smith. Mr. Smith.
Billy Wilder. Billy Wilder. I believe that's.
Billy Wilder.
Billy Wilder. Billy Wilder. Wilder. But anyway, he created these dummies, and the government simultaneously used the dummies. They took pictures and made fake documentation of these aliens and slipped it to the Russian embassy in Washington D.C.
No.
Leaked them to them.
No.
This way, it would go back to Mother Russia with communism and all that stuff, and the Cold War and stuff would completely throw off the Russians. Oh, aliens, we need to go check that, and basically making them chase these red herrings all around about aliens being real and invading, and we have bodies and stuff.
Right.
And the other reason was that by creating these bodies, it would anybody who stumbled across them, it's supposed to test loyalties of the men in the bases.
Right.
Because either people who are in
Look for
direct
spies.
people who are in direct contact with the aliens. One, you can take them and you essentially bug them, follow them, whatever. And if they report back to their commune handler, then oh, he's a red.
Right.
Or if he goes home hey Edna, I guess Russ all at work today. Oh, this guy will talk. We need to keep an eye on him. So it was able to test loyalties. The thing though is that the guy he died a while back, so he can't confirm or refute any of this, obviously. But he did a movie several years later called I think it's The Secret Life of Sherlock Holmes, The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
I'm sorry, Private Life of Sherlock Holmes, about the British government
doing the same thing.
No, doing similar. They made, and it's apparently a real film. They made a fake Loch Ness monster to use in the lock to hide submarine tests in the lock.
That makes sense.
So it's art imitating that. So it feels almost like that's where they got the idea for the conspiracy. At the same time, the idea of special effects guys making alien bodies and then sending out bad information sounds so legitimate. So,
it happens all the time.
But,
it feels like something that could work.
So but about that, we'll go by this here. So technically, you're saying that every UFO we've seen now is fake?
Well, no, not every UFO we've seen now. Just the alien bodies seen on Air Force bases back in the day in the Southwest.
So the Roswell is done.
Yeah,
that was a fake incident.
So the Roswell stuff,
Okay.
But there's been 2 or 3 different cover-ups on Roswell already. So one way or the other, the government's lying about that, no matter what.
Roswell is actually a test facility.
You mean Area 51?
Yeah,
Area
51.
Roswell's just where the aliens.
Well, it's Area 51 near Roswell. Is just test.
Oh yeah, it is.
I've heard they moved all their. They're good stuff. They got another place they go to.
Well, there's all kinds of you can dig deep in that, but no, they're supposedly it's still a.
Oh, it is.
It's still a. It's just test facility.
Yeah, they do test flights out of weird aircraft.
So the problem is the reason, and plus it's in the middle of nowhere, it's in the desert.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, why wouldn't you have if you want to see how a plane flies?
Oh yeah.
Or that way you can be okay, let's watch this thing. Yeah, we can see it. There's nothing to worry about. There's no lights around for
it's a great place.
And it just happened to be if you believe Roswell crash, it just happened to be the closest base ever. Take these motherfuckers and let's go.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sure it wasn't Roswell, they already have a UFO there, so let's take it.
Although at the time, they supposedly sent a lot of stuff out to Wright-Patterson because
they still do.
Wright-Patterson is still one of the major.
Wright-Patterson is still a major
Air Force installation.
But what was it? The conspiracies with Roswell, though. I mean, we're obviously deviating from the alien bodies. But conspiracy with Roswell was that originally, they said, "Oh, it's UFO." And they're like, "Oh no, it was a weather balloon." And in the '90s, they came out with another. Well, they had another report that goes, okay, it wasn't a weather balloon. We were lying to everyone. No. What it really was, and it wasn't a weather balloon, but it was some kind of high altitude. Yeah. Essentially, it was a secret high-tech weather balloon prototype.
Well, the thing was,
So it wasn't a weather balloon,
Well,
but it was a weather balloon.
let's be
So
honest.
no matter how you slice it,
Even-
they're lying one
but
way or
anything-
another.
The thing that got
They're lying,
that got everybody upset with Roswell was the paper that come out that said
Oh yeah.
UFO
Oh yeah.
crash lands, and all of a sudden, same day or the next day, it
Oh, yeah.
was weather balloon crashes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what everybody went. Huh.
Wait, what?
Yeah. But no, like that's just
Well,
what you do. I mean, you
well,
got to cover it up.
the idea is that from the latest ideas is like the prototype the high tech weather balloon thing that they try to keep secret.
Yeah.
They're like we can't let people know that we got this.
Right.
It was UFO, and then like a higher up goes, you told him it was UFO. Go fix that.
Yeah.
They think they're aliens now. They're like, oh no, it's just a regular weather balloon.
What gets me is like, okay, let's think about this, okay? Because supposedly, if we'll go back to your fake Martian thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So I'm trying to think of like all the work here because they said there was an actual crash. Something went boom because people drove up on it.
Something indeed crashed in
they
Roswell,
said
New Mexico.
They actually supposedly, some people said they've seen it crash.
Yeah.
Okay, so if your theory is right, that means even if it's fake, that means the Air Force went, guys, we can make this look like a crash.
Well,
missile, phew. So they shoot a missile, it blows up, and then they go, all right, guys, move all the shit out here.
Well,
throw shit around, throw some bodies up, we're done.
The idea behind that one actually, and this one's going to veer off from mine a little bit again, was that the weather balloon thing or whatever actually had some kind of mannequins on it, like to simulate humans anyway.
Yeah.
So the people who saw the bodies at the Roswell crash actually just saw these really screwed up mannequins.
Right.
And
So
the wreckage was already just from the
whatever
experimental weather balloon crash. But the other alien bodies that they saw on gurneys and dissection tables and stuff at the bases, those were the special effects aliens.
So we went. So in other words, the balloon ship crash. Okay,
So
mannequins. Okay, so we have mannequins. So they, they see them wheeling something off into ships or into ambulances or whatever they push. Okay, so where in? Okay, well let me ask you this. So where does all of a sudden they go from the idea of like clearly the very first time you would have seen a Martian then would have been at Area 51. Those guys pushing in whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where everybody says that's the first time they've ever seen a Martian was when that happened.
Yeah.
So clearly, if that theory is right, is when it crashed, somebody was driving down, they get the call going, "Hey, stop! We gotta get these guys props because this is gonna be the perfect opportunity to."
Well, like no, not even then. Technically,
because they didn't know the thing was gonna crash. If they knew the thing was gonna crash, they wouldn't have even.
Well, it would have been later on when he made the prop mannequins and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the idea or the prop alien dummies. Yeah. Like. Well, it'd be like, oh, we heard a UFO crash out here. We saw a couple of weird things, and people just thought then, like their brain put it together as, oh, that was an alien body.
Right.
Then later on, like the original Roswell crash doesn't necessarily have to do anything with this.
Well, see, but that's what I mean. Like the original Roswell crash.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's what started it, obviously.
But there's people that.
Not really.
But that's the testimonies of the people that said.
Oh yeah.
There was Martians being pushed in, and they saw the little bitty guys with the big heads and all that kind of stuff.
Well. Like that.
So I mean,
that one I can't account for.
So clearly, that's what I mean.
But that I don't think the Roswell crash had anything to do with these alien dummies that I'm talking about now.
So my next one will go into yours too. It'll tie into it.
Well, you want to go and do yours? Mine's going to move. Mine's going to go to something completely different.
Okay, well, I go ahead and
do mine. Let's dovetail this thing.
Yeah,
what's happened?
My next one I got is this interesting little situation that happened. In the early 20th century, I forgot the name of the tundra. It's out in Siberia, but remember?
Talking about the Tunguska blast?
Yeah. Okay, well, there's been all kinds of theories. It could have been like an asteroid that hit, and a lot of people think it could have been an extraterrestrial craft that crashed out there, just totally devastated, just several miles up there.
Yeah.
Well, there's a theory that the Russians had actually, or the Soviets had recovered, alien technology and
test flying it.
Yeah. Well, no, it gets into it. Alien bodies and everything. Yeah. And Stalin, I think during when was it? I believe like the 40s or 50s.
Yeah.
Before he died,
fuzzy timelines here.
Yeah. Well, we didn't.
They had constructed a base similar to Roswell or not Roswell, but Area 51 called Kapustin Yar.
Yeah.
And it's basically the Soviets there. Area 51. And if you look at this base from overhead, it's even the whole outline of the installation, it's shaped like a crop circle almost. It's very strange looking from aerial views.
Well, yeah.
And there is a conspiracy out there that says that the crash in Roswell was actually a Soviet reverse-engineered UFO
makes
that
sense.
during the Cold War they were using to spy over the U.S. and
Yeah.
it either got shot down
Yeah.
or had malfunction and crashed.
Well,
The U.S. recovers this, and then they reverse-engineer the
Theirs.
Soviet.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
did I say, do you have any more to add on?
Well, I mean,
Tunguska
well-
Blast?
no with that, but going back to like them getting the reverse engineering and stuff. Supposedly the Nazis had it before anybody did.
Supposedly. Which
Because-
goes back to my first
Yeah,
topic.
because they said
Today it's come full
supposedly but they have the actual supposedly. This is all here. This is all quotations they had, or this is all theory. But the theory goes that the Germans, when they first they made the jets, they were the first one to have a jet that they would have changed the war.
Yeah.
Essentially, but one of the very first planes they had was an actual circle. It was a vertical takeoff jet, and it was a circle. And supposedly they said that right. That's what they're wondering is where did that? They think that was they'd lost. The Germans when the end of World War II happened.
Yeah.
When America and Britain and probably not Russia, but I'm sure they did too, took all these scientists that the Nazis had and went, hey, you can come with us, or you can go here. Like the ones there's that theory of, well, they brought that with them.
Yeah.
And yes, we have flying saucers. They're not alien made. They're ours, and they're spy planes because they literally can do everything, and no one sees them they see them on radar, but they can make themselves go away.
Yeah.
And so essentially, it's essentially like Russia has theirs. That's why some of them look this way. America has theirs. That's why some of them look this way. Britain has theirs. They all look different because it's all these different scientists that went.
That reverse engineering.
They are reversing their comrades. It's weird.
Comrades.
Yeah, it's. But I mean, there's that theory. I mean, they said Martians aren't real. It's just that it's all these different looks because everybody's tied something different. So.
I might actually be bursting your bubble on the Tunguska Blast.
Yeah.
Because the thing that exploded over the tundra and everything, you probably know, it left tons of trees knocked over and stuff. It left essentially a butterfly shaped pattern with the trees in the very middle still standing.
Yeah.
Which is weird, right?
Yeah.
Well, they had theorized that it might have been a comet. Coming in,
it blew up
and,
above it.
Yeah, whatever it is, it blew up. But this comet came in the atmosphere, just this really wonky angle, and because comets are ice and rock, it just got the heat and.
Well, it did that.
So
they also got those weapons up there too that they don't know about.
Yeah, but 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it happened again in Russia. The fucking meteor comes over and just
Have you seen those metal orbs that they've got out in the Valley of Death up there? They don't know what it is to this day. They emit severe radiation. They're
weird.
these strange they call them cauldrons.
Yeah.
You probably heard of them out there.
I have not.
And they're very out.
Valley of Death.
Yeah, it's called the Valley of Death.
Is that Death Valley?
It's very it's in a remote location in Siberia, and they've been there for hundreds.
It's essentially
years.
they got its name because it was the Valley of Death.
If you go in there,
you don't come back.
Yeah.
It's essentially where
it does weird things to people when they go in there. They get radiation sickness. It's these cauldrons out in the wilderness. They're of the strange metal. You can't dent it, can't scratch it.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's sharp to the touch. There's there's stairs that go down into the interior of them, little rooms and stuff. They don't know what they do, but a lot of people theorize that they're some kind of ancient weaponry that's supposed to be a defense system that blows up. Incoming comets or ET shit.
It's all kinds of weird shit.
What I was getting at with the Tunguska Blast is this scientist they created this big board with all these little tree models, and the tree models were essentially hinged, so they fall over in any direction.
Yeah.
And they tested all these different angles and explosions, and they actually
got the right one.
They found the right angle for something to come in, explode, and it created the perfect butterfly pattern. And that, so it's completely legitimate that it was a comet that just came in at a weird angle.
Like I said, it just happened recently.
Yeah.
They had a comet come through the atmosphere and
exploded.
stop, and it exploded. And they said they were if it was a bit lower, it would have done the same thing. It would have wiped out. They said, because of where it did. It wasn't low. We're low enough or something. But they said, if it did the same thing in New York, they said it would have took New York would have felt something. New York would have little windows. It would have the whole city may have been shut down because.
It would have been.
Because the little town and wherever it was that happened just recently. I'm sure YouTube.
Internet knows
because there's videos all over it of you've seen this meteor go through, and also you just see go boom, which is great. But it happens.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It's rare, but it happens.
But yeah, no, like I said, I love the spaceship theory though because
Yeah.
I mean, even though if it's a controlled blast, like
Yeah.
if it is a spaceship that comes through and blows up,
Yeah.
like it would have the same equivalent. I mean, it still would
Yeah.
make the trees go right
Oh,
under
yeah.
it. It would not.
Oh yeah, I mean, like whatever it is, like coming in at that angle, exploding.
But-
You know,
because there's
I would like to make a disclaimer for the purposes of true science, though, that all these conspiracy theories are actually conspiracy hypotheses,
hypotheses.
not actual
Well,
theories.
An actual well, I know it's a little late, but a conspiracy
I'm a
theory.
science nerd, so I gotta.
A conspiracy theory is really just essentially
Oh,
if somebody covers something up,
I know that.
or if it's being thought of being covered up.
It's just
all it is.
inaccurately named. It should be conspiracy hypothesis.
That shouldn't.
Hypotheses.
Why?
Because
it's just a-
theory is something you've tested and come to conclusion. Hypothesis is something you've just gathered some data on. Like I think this is what it is. Like
I'll
so.
do that.
The science is sound, sir. The science is
yeah.
sound.
But we'll go to one that actually has a little bit of truth in it.
All right.
I guess they all have a little bit of truth, but mine has.
They have to start with a nugget.
Yeah,
Yours has a
larger nugget in it. I will pronounce these names. I'm not even going to try. You can look it up. There's plenty of videos.
Why don't we get this guy over here? He's a name pronouncer.
But you can look up on YouTube. You can look up on Wikipedia. They're out there. Look up the Phantom Cosmonauts, which is essentially Yuri Gagarin was yes.
Yuri Geller.
He was the first man to survive being in space and come back. He was the first one to survive. Supposedly, by this hypothesis, or actually a theory, maybe because there's actually radio recordings.
I'd have to look into it.
But there was the Russian. I guess at this time would have been the Soviets at this time.
Yes.
The Soviets actually suppressed documentation that they were sending astronauts before him. Like there was tons more before him.
Oh yeah.
It actually happened. There was a leak in '59 of a communist. They won't say who it is or anything like that. They just said it was a leak that he came out and said, "We've sent people up there before Yuri. They didn't come back." Well, all this is going on. This is getting some news because they're like, "Oh crap, what's going on?" Soviets are going, "No, we're not doing anything. We're shooting dogs up there. We're shooting monkeys like everybody else did." But there was a group of brothers. I'm not even going to try to just look it up. There's a group of brothers. They had, say that.
Yeah, you're on your own.
Yeah.
I'm out.
So, Michael, you have the ancestry.
Use your internets, people.
Those are Italian names.
Nah, they're
Gianluca Cordiglia.
yeah, it's something like that. It's weird brothers. You can find them. They're mentioned all over. There's I literally have 9 different recordings that they witnessed or listened to, I should say.
Ear witness.
They they were amateur radio enthusiasts. And they were
Yeah, they
were essentially like ham radio, I guess is what it essentially is.
Bunch of nerds.
But they tuned into the frequency that were being used for these space missions. The very first one they had, which is one of their famous ones, is that they were sitting there and it was silent. And they thought it was just a dead air. All of a sudden, the SOS code started going through. And it kept getting further and further away as they didn't know at the time, but they just knew they heard something and it was getting further and further away from them.
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, that's weird. We don't know what that is, but it's kind of strange." Well, then the next one come up. And the next one was they got in Russian, a voice saying, "I'm off course, I'm off course." And it was it. Then the next one was it was essentially a cosmonaut suffocating to death.
Oh, that's creepy.
They said it was literally they heard him going, "My oxygen's out" or something. I'm dying. And it went out. And I mean these weird things you can find online. There's actually really good it makes you wonder if they're real or not. Supposedly they're real, supposedly they're not. Yeah. One of them is the creepiest one. What happened? I got all of them. There's before Yuri actually went up and come back. 3 days before somebody else did it. Actually went up, circled the Earth 3 times, and come back down. They can't say that because they said he wasn't the one that was supposed to get all publicity.
Yeah.
Because they had already announced, we're going to launch somebody, they should be back this time and all this. This was a guy, their test guy to make sure.
Yeah.
And, we don't have, nobody was in Soviet Russia to videotape this stuff.
Yeah.
We don't know what they're doing. But they're like one of the scare recordings is an actual female cosmonaut that is screaming. She's burning up because she's coming through the atmosphere, and she burns to death because and it's her literally going, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot, and it cuts out. I mean, it's weird shit, man. Like all these ones are. Yeah, like the guys are like bouncing off the atmosphere, like because we didn't know the actual equivalent, like the diagonal you need, the angle. And so like all these guys are like bouncing off the atmosphere, like going off in deep space, and they're catching all this.
Crazy.
Well, and like evidently people thought it was, at the time, they thought it was real enough. They produced these recordings evidently because they become the Astro. What was their official title? I forgot. Some kind of they pretty much the space guys. For a Swedish Italian radio station, and kept that title and we're still recording these things as they were going. And then they said even after Yuri, got up, come back, they were still recording like guys, I've lost control of it, I'm leaving, and it's like they would just drift off. It's all of a sudden like eventually they picked up on like this was Russian, this is all
they get somebody translators.
Yeah, and they realized like this is fucked up, pretty much because they're like, these guys are like they're going off, like, and all of a sudden that's what you're hearing people die because there's equivalent there.
So you think there's like pods just floating around in space with dead people?
No, the thing is the way the early space programs worked. If you didn't get orbit, you were gone.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. So like guys, when they re-entered, if they didn't get the orbit right, if they bounced off the atmosphere, they would burn to death if they didn't get the angle right. Yeah. If they didn't get the angle right and they bounced off the atmosphere, they lost their orbit. They're gone.
Well, they wouldn't technically lose their orbit because like getting out of Earth's orbit is like hard to do.
Well, supposedly, the way it works is
like, eventually like their orbit they'd run out of oxygen first, but eventually they'd fall back.
Because the way it works, is that whole have you seen the way I think SpaceX is doing their ships?
No, I have not.
SpaceX is using the atmosphere to launch themselves into space. They circle the Earth and grab the atmosphere and it launches.
Slingshot around.
A slingshot. Yeah. It's the equivalent of that. Okay. If you bounce off, you lose. Like you just drift off. Yeah. There is no way of getting an orbit. Yeah, you can't regain an orbit, so you just drift off. And they said that's what all of them did. But yeah,
I was about to say, so if they're drifting off, then like they're like. Years from now, like when the Millennium Falcon's gonna find like, hey, what's that? Dink.
It's space. Essentially, it's space junk. Yeah, it's that space junk. I mean,
they've got a lot of that stuff still orbiting Earth though.
But that's all. Usually, it's all like scientists and all that. Not scientists, satellites. Scientists are there just floating around the whole thing. Yeah, but they were like satellites. Essentially, a lot of those are like satellites. No.
I should have brought the Black Knight.
I was reading some shit on the Black Knight this past flight the other night. Black Knight is they call it a satellite, and essentially because it's just orbiting Earth.
Well, that's all you gotta do.
But
here's the thing.
It's like up to something like 6. Supposedly, it's like 6,000 years old. It was up there.
Yeah. Nobody claimed it.
No one claims it. Yeah, no one claims it. It was up there like the very first, like when Yuri went up there. Supposedly, Yuri saw it. And like when the Americans went up there, we saw it. Like it was up there before either one of us got there.
And apparently its orbit changes, which shouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
And it moves itself in and out of orbits.
And its theoretical weight would have been heavier, but at that point in time, neither space program would have been able to launch something that heavy and have it up there.
It's huge. Yeah. Supposedly it's huge too. Yeah. Like supposedly it's not this little bitty a satellite. They're not huge when it's compared to like the space shuttles.
Oh yeah.
So they call it like the ancient satellite.
No, just look at Black Knight, the Black Knight satellite.
And then I forgot the guy's name, but
there's pictures of it.
Yeah, one guy had said that apparently it
like Knight, like with a K, or
K with a K. Knight with a K.
Yeah. Okay.
Black Knight satellite. Yeah, there's pictures of it. It's the most
Black
ridiculous.
Knight satellite. Boom. It's ridiculous. On Google.
And apparently it's supposed to be pinging like the mathematical equation to some star system like way out there.
Don't really know. No one really knows what it is. But I'm like you though. I'm really curious. Like, why have we not grabbed it?
Yeah, nobody bothers trying to retrieve it.
No, we retrieve satellites, or we did all the time. Why don't we just kind of, push up to it and grab it and go?
Maybe it's too big for us to be able to grab it.
Well, that's what I mean.
And it changes up because sometimes people will lose track of it. It'll go away, and then sometimes it comes back somewhere else.
Yeah, it changes its orbit, almost like it's on its own.
Yeah.
It's reading into it.
I'll check that later. Though.
There's some weird conspiracies on that
later.
But it's It's out there, man. But yeah, that's Phantom Cosmonauts. It's really interesting, and it's very
That's
plausible.
like that's very horror story like.
Yeah.
too,
Yeah, but the
like,
thing is, it's like the test flights. Like we never knew like the Black Hawk.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like how many times? Like honestly, I wonder how many folks died testing the Black Hawk before he got put into production.
Yeah.
Or like there's a reason why we have, there's what we call it the test pilots,
Oh yeah.
because they have to test stuff that we don't know about that they
Oh.
die. There's a reason. So it
Some
makes,
ballsy people.
I was about to say, pretty much all the early astronauts from America were all test pilots.
yeah, I mean that's
Because you
tested. I mean, you got to think. Dude, I mean, you're going up. You're going to be. We're going to strap you to this. It wasn't like how many tons of fuel we're going to strap you to and launch you and shoot you straight up in the air, and hope we can get you out there in enough time that you can launch yourself and then come back.
Yeah. I've been up to the Space Center in Huntsville.
Yeah.
Where they got one of those rockets standing up, and I just walked up and I was like, oh.
And
And they have another one that's like
Yeah.
laid out long ways, like against the ceiling.
Well, guess what
and
is
you just
you-
walk up and.
Well, guess what? You look at that and you realize that.
huge.
You look at it and you're like, that son of a bitch is heavy. And then you realize that that's not even got fuel in it.
Yeah.
Then you realize that motherfucker is really heavy. So it's crazy.
That
But-
is crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, as you can tell, we can go on and on and on and on
We're
and on
babblers.
and rambling about conspiracies because one leads into another, that leads into another, that leads into
So
another.
many do.
And that's what I mean. I'm sure, like, eventually we're gonna do another one.
Oh yeah.
There'll be another one.
It'll
And
probably be.
we'll probably just free flow that. We'll probably be like, all right, let's just talk about one. Let's just go see where it ends up.
What you got?
So, but yeah, that's the first. That's Conspiracies Volume 1.
Yeah.
I think we should actually call it that
Yeah,
because
actually, that's a good one. Conspiracies
Volume 1. But
V1.
yeah, we've not decided on what the next episode is going to be. We're probably going to talk about it. It'll be in the description. So if you want to see it next, you can. We hope you watch it.
If you have ideas for episodes you'd like to see us do, please put it in the comments. We'd love to hear.
We have our one fan who put
Yeah.
one in that we may be doing that one. We don't know
Yeah.
yet. Bit by.
Well, we thank you, BitBite. We will definitely be doing that one actually.
Just don't know if
just-
it'll be coming
it'll-
up or not. We're trying to plan
it'll-
these out a little bit.
Yeah, so it might be a little ways down the road. Well, actually, I think they said they wanted gaming.
It's
correct?
either video games or gaming.
Yeah, so
So-
I think we're gonna try to do at least 2 episodes: video games and tabletop games.
So yeah, that's what if you want to hear about it, help us out. Tell us what your games are. If you want to hear us talk about one specific thing, let us know,
Oh yes.
and we'll do it. Like I said, we'll see what we do next time in the description below. Just keep watching us, man. That's all we ask for,
Oh yeah.
guys.
Stay
Appreciate it.
vigilant.
That's right. Appreciate it. Be on the lookout.
Thank you.
New shows are coming. Just keep watching. So
Yeah.
stay classy.